Okay. Well, we're here at the Cathcart Farm. This is my family farm. 60-acre farm was purchased in the year 1924, but it's been in the family ever since, and all 60 acres are still in the family. But I'm here back on my father's and mother's part of it. It was, of course, this is where I grew up. I spent my life, early years, working farm, which was cotton was our main crop at that time, which is not being grown by African Americans now. But I'm back here since my parents have passed, living with my sister here. And at my age of 84 years old, I certainly can't work a big old farm, which would go too much labor. I do what is called raised beds. As you can see the beds here. You raise the bed 12 inches off the ground and put organic soil in it, which I have out here, which is nothing but chips that turn into dirt. Organic is just that simple. It's not as complicated as they make it seem. So that's what I'm doing here. This is a month of November, and the winter farm is coming out now. The collards and the cabbage about ready. Broccoli, we'll be able to look at the heads of the broccoli. We're eating broccoli. Cabbage are just about ready. The heads are probably next week we'll be eating cabbage. And greens, there is a variety of the green family. There's so many: turnips, mustard, our variety, even radishes are green. These are plants that do better in the cool weather than they do in the warm weather. Although they will grow in the summertime, but they do much better in the cool weather. And as you can look around, you can just see from the leaves on them, they're much better here around this time of year. And onion being your strongest plant. So I'll try to get out plenty of onions, which will last through the winter and into the spring, and I'll harvest them and just change the crop back over to summer crops. What we're looking at here is broccoli, and everybody's seen, you can see broccoli heads out. It pushes that shoot up, and you cut that head out and you cook it, which is broccoli. But you can actually eat the leaves of the broccoli. So broccoli, collards, they're very similar, and just a little distinction in the leaves. And the average person may not be able to distinguish a collard from a broccoli, but you know, the keen eye do. This is what I teach kids. We call plant recognition, and there is a difference, and you just watch the pattern of the leaves when you hold it up beside a collard or a cabbage. Yes, but there is a difference. But they are family, could be brothers or first cousins. They all look the same. There is a long list of a variety of greens: collards, cabbage, broccoli, the number in that line. And then they're all in the green family. And then you got turnip green, then you got mustard green, then you got broadleaf mustard, and then curly mustard. Then you have kale, and there was another one called, what's it called? That's so many. You can go on and on. Anything in that green family, even radish is a green. I even have them growing over there. We'll focus on that. And you see the leaves. You can eat the bottom as well as the top. Turnip greens, the same thing. You eat the bottom as well as the top. The other greens do not produce a bottom. My mom probably was the best cook that I can think of during my time, except her two aunts. She was raised by her aunts, Aunt Belle and Aunt Haley. They taught her how to cook. But Mom was good, and probably the only people better were her teachers. But she could cook anything. She could fix up cabbage. You knew you were coming to a delicious meal because Mom knew how to do it. She made the biscuits. They did everything from scratch. There was no packaging of cornbread mix or mixed biscuits that you buy in the store. No, they did it from scratch. They made the biscuits, they rolled the dough, they made the cornbread batter. They did everything, the old-fashioned way, and it tasted good. I don't care what it was. If my mother cooked it, it was good. Okay, what we have here now is the what I call the multiple bed garden. I had 3 levels, 1, 2, 3. Now, the purpose for this is to indicate that you may not have lateral room in your space in your backyard, but you can go vertical, going up. So you got 1, 2, 3 beds up, and there's a 4x8 space, but 3 beds, and you got a variety of those plants that you can plant in those beds. And the irrigation system is on the top bed, which when you turn it on, it sprinkles down through the system. I'll turn it on to get an idea of what it is. It sprays, and you just leave it on for a while. Do I have something else on? I have something else on. And I read this on the car. Yeah, it's on. And it sprinkles and sprays down through it, and it waters the beds at the bottom. Now, I'm going to walk up the ladder. I have a ladder to each platform for planting. So when it's time to plant, you can pick or whatever you need to do to tend your garden from up here from this platform. I had tomatoes here. I had squash over in that bed. So you can come in here and pick, tie your tomatoes right from your platform. So there's a platform on the other side too. And so that's 2 boxes per bed. So you can have something in each box that's different. And the water the sprinkler system is set up on 20-inch intervals, which sprays evenly. So when you turn it on, you want to get an even spray of that covers the whole box. So the spray at 45-degree angle, 45-degree spread. So it comes down, you leave it on for 10, sometimes 15 minutes, depends on how dry it is. And then it works. Anything natural is better than when they change over, because some water system, they insert chlorine or some other chemical in that water. Well, anytime you start getting into chemicals, you're getting into a dangerous spot for its health-wise. The more you can stay natural, that's all organic means. When they say organic soil, and make it sound technical and complicated. And if you see my soil, it's nothing but ground up trees and debris that fits back into earth. Because natural decomposing is a natural process. There are those who knew when they was growing up and they would go out into the woods or something and get soil for the flowers or soil for the potting soil. Why? Because you got the foliage, which was naturally going back naturally into the earth. When the leaves go back, they naturally go back into the earth. Everything does that. So the earth turns it and it sends it back out in a natural way. Everything needs the basic, and nitrogen is a major plant food. But the problem is when you concentrate nitrogen, if you get it naturally out of the soil, it's balanced with the other, the phosphorus and some other thing. But when they take it to the lab and then concentrate it, and they take it out of order, nitrogen excites the hormones. And that's why you got some plant food that look like nothing but nitrogen, then they'll put it on there and make it grow overnight, and then you have cancer of the reproduction organ, the uterus, prostrate. That's why you didn't have all of that when people were following a more natural pattern. No. Chemicals are being allowed to farm. Actually, farming you should be able to rotate some crop, plant another this year, maybe 2 or 3 years, then another plant will put something else back into the soil and what the other one took out. Learn the process of rotation naturally. Okay, this area here represents my baseball career. I played baseball because when I left the farm at the age of 18, I was pursuing my dream to become a professional baseball player. That was my drive. I wanted to be that. That's what I wanted to be. So when I left here, I moved to New Jersey My cousin Linwood and I would play baseball all summer here when he would come home from New Jersey, and then we go back. And he and I had made a pact, and we said that we were going to take over the left side of the infield for the Brooklyn Dodgers, because the Brooklyn Dodgers was the African black people's team because of Jackie Robinson. And so we went there. We believed that we were going to take over. When the Pee Wee Reese and Jackie Robinson got old, that we were going to step in there and fill their shoes. So I didn't get to play in the White League, but I got a chance to play in the Negro League. So the photos that you see of myself, I played 2 years for the Joe Black National League All-Stars. And so that photo is just Joe Black, who was a pitcher for the Brooklyn Dodgers. He put together a team to play other Negro League team, which was remnants of the league, because when Jackie Robinson signed with the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1947, that spelled the end of the Negro League. So many teams had to fold because they couldn't make payroll. The Major League team were taking their players away, and the fan base, and they flocked over to see Jackie Robinson playing with the Brooklyn Dodgers, and they wasn't supporting Negro League baseball. But it continued, Negro League baseball continued until it kind of fades on out. In the late 1950s, 59 and 60 was the year that I played. But from when on the league, some of the players continued to play on into the mid-60s or later. Okay, Ira is my father. He was the twin, two sets of twins, Ira and Carrie. But Carrie lived in the city. She moved to Buffalo. But Dad spent his entire life on the farm. And he loved farm cooking. He loved my mom's cooking. And he liked his greens. I think he liked a little chow-chow on them. That was about it. But he loved his seasoning with his fat back. Now, he grew up in that era where that had made a difference. But my mom had to stop using that later on, because it was not the healthiest product. But that was Dad. He liked natural, and I can remember he didn't like, he said, store-bought stuff. When you buy a loaf of bread, he called that wasp nest because it had holes in it. And he said that he had to have bread that was baked biscuits. My mom had to make him biscuits, cornbread, and nothing that store-bought stuff we didn't like. Because back in those days, the women did everything from scratch. They didn't have, open a can of biscuits or mix some, a ready mixed cornmeal. No, that was the case. Everything was done from beginning before they come out with that. And my dad stayed in that line of thought all his life practically. So, and my mom was there to cook for him. And she was as good as it gets. I see greatness. My goodness, yes. We keep hearing this news about the lost generation, the children nowadays. I guess are so addicted to the digital world and the world of the computer, their phones. But that's because we have swallowed that concept. I have kids come out here to my farm. It might be a band of kids from the church. When they park and those kids get out of the car or band, they come running. They leave those devices in the car. And they say, Brother Wali, what are we going to do today? They're going to feed the horse and learn the farm. When I bring them out here and start teaching them just what it means, even when we dig up the beds and the girls see the worms coming out, girls by nature are afraid of worms, but once they understand the purpose, and I explain to them that worm is serving a purpose. He aggregates the soil, he chops it up, and his waste, the droppings that come from that, goes back into fertilizing. And I explained to him the reason that you soften the soil up is because the plant roots have to navigate. They have to spread out there because the plant gets its food from the ground, the soil, the earth. And when the children learn that, they're excited about that. They're coming in. If a child is excited about learning, it's easy to teach them. And there's so much about farming, there's so much about here that's exciting. and the kids come and they learn things. I had one little child come, and we were standing by the loofah plant, which has a long tentacle, and I told him there are certain plants that climb, and some climb by sending the tentacles to grab around whatever obstacle that's there. And the little boy held his finger and said, "Brother Wali, if I hold my finger up there, would it wrap around my finger?" I said, "Yes, if you hold it there long enough." And they find that, you know, scientifically exciting. Education should be exciting. I know it's to me, and I've grown up and spent all my life on the farm, and I find that there's always something for me to learn and understand. The natural process is really, really interesting and exciting. The more you learn about it, you learn the purpose of the worm, you learn the purpose of things, and then you understand how to govern yourself accordingly.